Welcome back. I'm Ted Thomas. I've been involved in real estate as an entrepreneur and an investor for more than 30 years. Investors usually have a plan, an outcome that they're looking for. So if you've thought about that, well, now let's talk about how to buy land in Texas. Now, if you're looking for fast profits, well, that's great. Or maybe you're a person that really wants to purchase and hold, or maybe you want to do things in between. Well, you'll certainly be able to do all that in Texas. Today, the episode is all about how to buy land in Texas. Now, land purchases are not for just timid people, I can tell you that. Now, this is a lot less volatile than buying stocks and buying commodities. But land in Texas, there's a lot to learn about. Now, it's a good long-term investment no matter what you buy in Texas. However, you need to think about what you're going to buy. Is it going to go up and down, or do you have a plan? Are you looking for a certain outcome? Now, this episode is about buying land. Now, that's different than buying residential real estate. So you want to definitely be thinking of talking to land brokers and people that do business in land. That's altogether different than buying in downtown Dallas or Houston or San Antonio or whatever. So some people buy land to graze cattle. Now, other people, they want to irrigate the land, they want to cultivate it, they want to raise crops on it. There's even people that want to develop the land. Now, those are all different kinds of land. If you're going to become a developer, you have a lot to learn because you're going to start moving the earth and you're going to have to start thinking about easements and restrictions. So that, if you're going to do that, you want to go directly to the local county and start learning about the restrictions. So my point is, there's a lot of choices if you're going to buy Texas land, and I can assure you there's going to be plenty of it. All right, so generally speaking, land is a very stable investment. So you can research and you'll find out a lot about Texas quickly. First of all, it's a fast-growing state. It's the second most populous state in the country, and they have a good environment in Texas. A lot of people move there because the government is pro-growth, and so they have a lot of growth in Texas. So I'll be right back and tell you more about that. All right, so what's this lesson all about? In today's episode, how to buy land in Texas. So first of all, you need to have an objective or an outcome of what you're after. Now, prices really vary in different parts of the state. So I'm not going to narrowcast this. I'm going to kind of open it up more. So if you're going to buy urban property like in a Houston or a Dallas or Fort Worth or a San Antonio, now you're talking about urban properties. But some people, they want grazing land. Some people want development land. Some people want land they can irrigate. All of those different kinds of land are going to have different prices. So later on in this episode, I'll show you how I found a system where I could kind of change it and always know what I was buying before I bought it. And I didn't have to learn in depth about the land. But I'll tell you about that, and I'll show you how to buy properties for 20, 30 cents on the dollar without mortgages too. But we'll get to that a little later. Right now, we're going to talk about how to buy land in Texas. All right, now if you could buy land in a different situation where you could get 60, 70, 80% discounts, that's the market that I usually work in, and that's a subset of the real estate business. So traditional real estate is what we're talking about on the video, but I'm going to talk a little later on about a subset of the business where we get huge discounts and we're able to buy for 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents on the dollar. Now, this is all ethical. It's all controlled by the government, and the system's been around for 200 years. But I'm going to come back to that. So real estate, as you know, if you're involved in it or even haven't been involved, location, 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 always a little bit different. So when you get involved in a place like Texas, it's huge. So you're going to have complete different kinds of land in different parts of the state. For example, parts of Texas have a lot of lakes. So some people around Austin and places like that, they have beautiful lakes. People want to live in Texas, and they're going to be near lakes. Other parts of the state, for example, the hill country in South Texas is famous for rolling hills because it's very open and the land is good looking, so people want to be there. Now in West Texas, it's open. It's wide open. It's not land that's especially green or whatever, but what it is, it's big open land sometimes used to run cattle on, but it doesn't have a lot of uses. But if you buy land on the east and southeast of Texas, you could be along the Gulf Coast. So the prices vary dramatically in all those different kinds of land. So expect different prices, and you should have different outcomes that you're expecting on the different kind of land. For example, in southeast Texas, along the Gulf Coast, an acre of land could easily cost $9,000 an acre, whereas in West Texas, you might be able to buy land for $1,000 an acre. But the lands have different uses and they produce a different ROI. You need to know what your outcome is before you start doing. So this episode is all about how to buy land in Texas. So step number one, I'd say have a plan and know what your outcome. Now, there's a lot of people that don't have an outcome. They just want to invest the money. And that isn't a strange thing in this market because we're in an inflation market right now. Some people just want to buy land to hold it and so protect themselves for inflation. Now, what do I mean by that? Usually land will continue to rise in value about the same as inflation. So some people just buy land to protect themselves and protect themselves from the inflation. All right, now when they do that, they're keeping their purchasing power relatively close to the same. Many people will buy land because they don't want to have high maintenance. So, if you bought a house and you rented it, just one little leak in the roof coming down in the living room could cause the house to flood and mold to form and things like that. Or a leak in a faucet in the bathroom could end up flooding the house and destroying it. So a lot of people will buy land for those kind of reasons. So it's not unusual for people to start and not have an outcome, but I'm going to suggest that you have an outcome. All right, so what questions are you asking yourself about this? You should be asking yourself, why are you even doing things in Texas? Well, you're probably doing it there because they have great growth. They have lots of land to choose from. Now you want to kind of separate and decide which kind of land you're going to buy. Now, if you are going to buy land, let's go through a few things that are different than buying residential. For example, surveys don't happen very often in residential neighborhoods, but you wouldn't want to buy in Texas without having the land surveyed, not just to see if someone else is encroaching on your property, but are you encroaching on someone else's property? So you're probably not going to be able to get title insurance or any of that without a land survey. All right, so banks and title companies are going to really be onto your case to make sure that you have a survey. Otherwise, they're not going to lend you the money. All right, the title policy, you definitely need that. There's no bank that will lend to you without a title policy because they want to make sure that there's no prior liens on the property. So the title company does all that for you. So we got land, we got title companies we're concerned about. Obviously, you're going to have an appraiser. Some appraisers are certified by the state, some aren't. So you're going to have to more than likely have one that's already certified. Think about that. All right, people in Texas are very concerned about that. Now, what's on the land? So maybe there's timber on the land. Maybe there's a irrigated crop on the land. Usually the farmers or the ranchers will sell those crops or sell the timber so it doesn't come with the land. So you're going to have an appraisal on all that and to make sure that they clean up the mess and don't leave you a big mess when they do take those. So today's lesson is all about how to buy land in Texas. Well, I have to say there's a lot of complications that are more than you would find if you were buying just a house. Are you worried in Texas about getting water? Yes. Are you going to have to bring water from somewhere else, from the county? What are you going to do about power? Are you going to have to bring it from the power company? Well, that's going to change the price of all that land. So what have I done? Well, I'm going to do it like other people in Texas. I'm going to hire a landman to check things out. I'm going to hire a broker to check things out. The landman is going to check on minerals. Are there any minerals in the ground? More than likely, the oil companies have got all that tied up already, but you hire a landman to check that out for you. Our landman is not just an expression. It's a title and it's a profession. All right, so what have I been doing? Well, I want to buy tax defaulted property. So that's a subset of real estate. And the subset is the same property. It's the same homes or residential lots, or it could be small farms, could be small office buildings, what have you. All right, I want to buy those at tax defaulted auctions. Well, I can tell you, Texas is like all the states. A certain amount of people don't pay the property tax. If they don't pay the property tax, what's going to happen? Well, what's going to happen is that the local county has a shortfall. So what the legislature has done is they've said, all right, everybody pays taxes. Everybody pays the property tax. If they don't pay it, they authorize the treasurer to go out there and levy the tax, try to collect the tax. If they can't collect the tax, what they do is they confiscate the property and they sell it at tax auction. Well, what if you and I could buy those properties for 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents on the dollar? Well, that's going to be utopia for us. That's going to be a good market. Well, every market, every county in the United States is going to have properties like that for sale, tax defaulted property. So that's a whole new market where we can buy 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents on the dollar. Are they going to be new properties? No, they're going to be used and abused. Some of them are junk. Some of them just need to be cleaned up. but they're going to sell the property. Starting bid could be as low as the back taxes. So I could buy close to back taxes. The county will actually they will cancel the mortgage or deed of trust loan. So now I'm getting a property that's free of mortgage and deed of trust loan, and I can do anything I want it. So if I can buy it low, for example, at 20 cents on the dollar, and I could sell it at 50 or 60 cents on the dollar, that margin is something I can keep. Well, every property has a tax assessed value. Well, the government is selling, the county's selling these properties, they're selling at 60, 70, and 80% discounts. So if I can buy at 20 cents on the dollar and I can sell at 60 cents on the dollar, I get to keep that margin. So all I have to do is buy and then sell under the market. So I like to buy low and sell low. All right, now there's lots of videos on this channel about tax liens and tax deeds. Today I've talked about how to buy land in Texas. There's a lot of things that you should be concerned about, and you should study up on that. I like to buy properties at the tax defaulted auction. So there's traditional real estate, and then there's tax defaulted real estate. They're both the same kind of real estate, but one I'm going to be able to get for pennies on the dollar. All 254 counties in Texas will sell tax defaulted property when they have an auction. All 3,000 counties in the United States will have tax defaulted properties. They all follow the same rules. I'm Ted Thomas. I'll see you on the next video.